Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cẩm Thi, and we are from Vuyp. And today we will present the case for the hard skill and thoughtful, the Tony story. And here's now, let's begin with the brief case from Khang Nguyen.
So imagine this, you are the best manager in the entire system with the highest sales, top rate operation, and you have worked long enough to understand every process and every person. You are the best candidate. But now imagine the promotion day when the ballroom door open, but instead of handshake with your boss, you are just hear that, "We are so sorry, Tony." So this is where Tony's story begins. So at the first glance, this look like a simple yes or no decision. But when we look closer, it's revealed a massive collision of perspective. It is about a high performance who simply lack of people skills, or is it about the organization that talk about performance but strictly value cultural fit and leadership style more? So when personal expectation hit the organization unwritten criteria, conflict is inevitable. So this is the perception gap we're here to look into. From this point of tension, we will now analyze the Tony behavior versus the company behavior to understand why both sides see the exact same situation, but it's very differently.
So from Tony's view, the core issue is the misalignment between Tony's belief and the organization expectation for senior leadership. To understand this conflict, we can ask three why questions. First, whether Tony reacts so strongly when he's not promoted. For many years, Tony's self-identity with success has been defined by performance. This creates a strong belief in his mind that I deserve to be a regional manager due to my high performance. So for him, promotion would be a validation of his ability and self-worth. However, when Tony gets denied promotion for the second time, it's become a shock and trigger emotion because there was a gap between his belief and reality. And this can be explained by the cognitive dissonance theory, which says that people experience psychological discomfort when their beliefs conflict with reality. And research also shows that people often adjust their self-perception based on feedback from others, especially when their own view differ from other evaluations. Therefore, to reduce this discomfort, Tony interprets the situation differently. Instead of questioning about his leadership style, he attributes the outcome to the organizational politics. Second, why does Tony continue managing in the same way? It's because his best success using pressure already had him achieve top ratings. This reinforced his belief that this is the correct leadership formula. So when the problem arises, instead of questioning the formula, he thinks he should apply the approach more strictly. And because changing the method means questioning the foundation of his own success, which feels quite threatening for him, especially after being denied promotion for a second time. As a result, when employees underperform, he chose to blame their character like lack of loyalty, not situational factors. This reflects correspondence bias, where internal traits are overemphasized and context is ignored. So over time, success reinforces his strong belief, which leads to strict control and limited self-reflection. Thus, Tony still continues managing in the same way. However, this mindset becomes dangerous at the regional level because now, even at the store level, Tony's performance-oriented approach has already created high employee turnover and interpersonal tension. This is a concern for the organization because leaders influence at least around 70% of employees' engagement across business units. Therefore, if Tony continued to prioritize results over relationship, The negative impact will appear not only in one store, but could spread across the entire region.
So onto the group level, imagine Tony is your boss. He gives feedback in a very strict way, always focus on performance and don't care about relationship. This situation is not hypothetical. These things are very unstable inside the team level. Staff do not have a positive view of Tony, with frequent personality conflicts and several employee terminations. This creates a high-pressure environment. Because Tony is like that, his feedback may feel more evaluative rather than supportive. Over time, this can reduce the trust within the team, as employees may feel that their competence is being judged rather than guided. This is evident in the research, so that task conflict, which means disagreement about work, can easily turn into relationship conflict when the trust is low. In other words, the feedback about work may start to feel personal. And over time, employees shift their focus from how do we solve this to am I being judged, making people feel less open and teamwork become weaker, which eventually leads to a drop in psychological safety. After seeing several terminations, the staff have learned that it is best to keep their voice down, and this is a natural survival instinct. When you're constantly being evaluated, you stop innovating and you start hiding. Therefore, teams may still maintain temporarily, but they become less adaptable over time. And this brings us to the real problem, scalability. There's a huge difference between task work, getting your work done, and teamwork, getting results through others. Tony is great at task work, but he's struggling with people, evident in his manager telling him to be more open in the case. And as a result, even if the team continues to achieve good results, the working environment may feel tense. For employees, the key concern is not just performance, but whether the teams feel supportive and open. So leadership is not about result, but influencing and motivating others to work together toward a shared goals.
Next to the organizational level, what if your Tony supervisor's someone just like him who values sales more than everything? And then you really appreciate his high sales and want to promote him. But then you question yourself, what happens if the regional role is given to Tony? As a leader, you must look beyond the monthly report, but towards the long-term stability. So if you decide to promote Tony, you're copy-pasting a performance-first culture into every store. Now let's think about a promotion like a billboard. Like a signal to others, this is what it takes to get to that position. So if the leader's message is performance or leave, then it is very clear that the companies prioritize sales more than people. And once this message is spread, the whole system will be shifted by the ASA framework, where organizations are like mirror. They are the reflection of the people that they attract and select. So by promoting a control and pressure leader like Tony, we are attracting more mini Tonys, while those who value collaboration and trust will leave. These people are considered as high emotional intelligence employees who are the best at problem solving. So once they leave, they do not take the company's number, but the adaptive capacity. And what is the consequence? Is a workforce that work because they have to, not because they want to. And as the size scales, the coordination cost also increase due to constant recruitment, monitoring, and conflict management. So we can see that a performance-first culture might look productive today, but performance will be erodes because collaboration will fail without effective communication and trust. So the question of the company is not, can Tony deliver sales, but is this leadership style safe to use across the entire system? The organization needs a builder, someone who can build relationship and trust between the leader and employee. Tony is a strong operator for one store,
But for a region, he is a gambler who will trade the long-term stability for short-term targets.
So, drawing from the Amazon, the key lesson is clarity. Amazon have the clear leadership principle and they evaluate people against those standards. And this actually connects to a classic idea in expectancy theory. It means people stay motivated when they believe that if they perform well, something meaningful will come out of it. Here is Tony's problem. In Tony's case, that belief is fading. He performs, he delivers results, but promotion doesn't come. It's not about effort or competence. It's that the link between the performance and reward is broken. And when that link becomes unclear, motivation drops. Even for your past people. Here is case study from the Amazon. A New York Times investigation showed that when company push the performance too hard without balancing relationships, people get stressed. Internal competition rise. And this connects directly to Tony's style. He very task-focused, with very result-driven. That's work for short-term sales, but at the regional level, what matters more is influence, and you can't influence without trust. So here's the solutions. There's 3 solutions here. First is restore fairness. There's a theory called equity theories. It says people compare my input and our output versus other. Tony see someone with less tenure get promoted ahead of him. If there's no clear criteria, it just look like politics. And so the company needs to define the promotion standard clearly, not vague phrases like better people, skill. It must be real observable things like coaching team member, resolving conflict, collaborating across stores. And when expectations are specific, trust come back. And second, it must have to use feedback to build the capability, not to reject. Social cognitive theory. Here, as you can see, it says people grow when they see the gap between how they see themselves and how others experience them. Tony might see himself as decisive, but his team might see him as rigid. Here's a 360-degree feedback process make that gap visible. But feedback alone isn't enough. It had to turn into actions. It's where smarter goal comments. It's not improve the interpersonal skill, instead increase team engagement score in 6 months or hold monthly coaching conversation. So, and one more thing before promoting Tony, test him. Test before promoted. Regional leadership means influencing across store. So, give him a multi-store project. Let him show he can lead without relying on the authority. Then promotion become a natural outcome, a proven ability that reinforce the expectancy theory, as I said before, and keep engagement strong. So what happens if nothing changes? But if there's a model called EVLN, stands for access, voice, loyalty, and neglect. Tony may start by speaking up, but if nothing changes, he will gradually shift toward access. Here, as you can see, and losing a high-performing manager over perceived unfairness, that doesn't just affect one store, it sends a message to everyone. Performance does not guarantee the opportunity, and that's a message no organization can afford to send. So, thank you for listening our presentations.